Now, some may say that these laws, they're not. Nobody's trying to get your guns. But this obviously it's not true. We can look throughout history and we can see time and time again where the government start out small laws that you think that would make common sense. Oh, no bombs, no fully automatic weapons, and most of us would agree with that's okay. Well, then the next one, where they go to, the assault weapons, these right here. All right. This has got there's no difference between this and a normal semi-automatic rifle, and most of us know that. But they pick out certain things about this that, of course, the people who don't know, who don't want to educate themselves, they don't realize that it means nothing. Like the barrel shroud. The barrel shroud is this. It keeps your hand from touching the barrel. But that's on the assault weapons ban in 1994. That was outlawed. You can only have, 2 or 3 of those things on your rifle? Okay. But bayonet lug. When was the last bayonet charge done, I've never heard of, the Newtown shooter going and putting a bayonet on his rifle. And was that, I don't know, maybe I'm missing something. But apparently that's dangerous, too dangerous for us to own. If you're going to say that there's no politician out there that wants to take our guns, all of our guns, then I'd like to, point out what Feinstein said, Dianne Feinstein. Said, if I could have gotten 51 votes in the Senate of the United States for an outright ban, picking up every one of them, Mr. and Mrs. America, turn them all in, I would have done it. Said that in a 60 Minutes interview back in '94. She's still there. Do you think her mind has changed? I don't. Attorney General Eric Holder said we need to brainwash people to thinking about guns differently. These are our politicians. They hold high levels of office. And there are millions more people out there who want guns to be outright banned. So if you think it can't happen, it can. Back in January the 16th last year, President Obama came out and he gave a speech. And in that speech, he said that he wanted the CDC to do a study on gun ownership and the relation to crime. Now, in order to do that, they had to lift a ban from 1996 that forced CDC, that said CDC can't do any studies that correlate gun ownership and crime. Now, the idea back then was, the NRA doesn't want that. If they lifted the ban and the CDC did a study along these lines, we would find out that more guns equal more crime. And it turns out that wasn't the case. They lifted the ban, and Obama touted it, said it was a great idea. He's going to finally find some hard scientific evidence that says that we need to give up our guns. Do we know what that study found? The study found armed citizens are less likely to be injured by an attacker, which goes against one of the main things that the left says. They say if you have a gun, you're more likely to get hurt by the attacker. The attacker's going to take your gun away and use it against you. Well, the CDC said that that's not true. CDC said defensive use of guns is common. Another thing that the left likes to say that's not true. I like to say that very rarely does. I think there was one statistic out there saying that 46 more times likely to use a gun in an attack than in defense. But using a gun defensively is actually more common than it is to being attacked with a gun. And in short, guns actually save lives because they're used more to save lives than to take lives. Mass shootings and accidental firearm deaths account for a small fraction of gun-related deaths. The left likes to say that there's more shootings out there, that more people are dying by guns, but according to the CDC, that's not true at all. According to the CDC, gun deaths are falling. And that mass shootings, like at the schools, are a very rare occurrence. And then interventions like gun control, such as background checks or so-called assault weapons bans and gun-free zones, produced mixed results. And what they said on that was, if you ban assault weapons, there will be more deaths with the handguns. But assault weapons are so rarely used anyway that it's like less than 10% of all deaths or something. Stolen guns and retail gun show purchases account for very little crime. Everybody's heard the gun show loophole. They like to say that because of the gun shows, you can go buy a gun at a gun show without a background check, which is obviously not true. If anybody's bought a gun from a gun show, you still get a background check. But what they're talking about is the sale of, for me, if I want to sell a gun to a friend. It's so rarely used in crime that statistic does not hold up according to the CDC. And the vast majority of gun-related deaths are actually by suicide. So all the numbers that they show you about people dying from guns, it's mostly suicide. Now, we're here today to show, to tell them we cannot let them take even one civil liberty from us, whether it's guns or the freedom of speech. Because an attack on one civil liberty is an attack on all the civil liberties. An attack on one state, like Connecticut, is an attack on all states. An attack on one individual is an attack on all of us. We will not let that happen.
Croc TV.